Oh my goodness. This is Science and Technology Reporting. What I've seen from our reports that we still have some way to go to improve on outright. Um, Writing is natural. You have to have the English, because we're writing in English. If you can check, I've sent you some mark sheets. We're looking at first the title. The title, well, fine. The title is there. What about the introduction? Is your story a feature or a syntax as well as a feature, or is it a soft news? What about the grammar? Is it original or it was copy and paste? Um, what about the conclusion? Is it there? Is it relevant? Did you answer the question? For example, did you mention who are the beneficiaries, the users, and the developers of the technology? So I was kind. It was just some kindness of trying to mark that one. You need to improve. You need to improve. Marks entered. Those marks are part of the assessment. We don't throw them. We add them. Okay. So listen carefully with what we are going to do today. We're discussing 10 things that journalists has to know about climate change, so you can write about them. Okay? Okay. So what do you need to know about these? The 10 things. Number one, every journalist should know about climate change and sustainable development. So that's a general topic, eh? Climate change and sustainable development. Okay. So, number one now under that headline is how we know what we know about the climate. How we know what we know about the climate. Okay. So, here we need to know the equipment or the tools that scientists use, such as weather stations, like at Chileka, where data is collected about the weather. Okay. Balloons, satellites. Yes. Okay. So you also have to measure like temperature, and then you have to understand measurements, I should say, in short. Again, measurements, I should say, isn't it? Uh, Okay. The other thing, the terminology, you need to understand the difference between climate and weather. We confuse, eh? The difference between climate and weather, they're different. Oh, okay. So let me read out from here. So weather is what we experience from day to day. Okay. Climate refers to the average condition a place experiences over many years. So the weather can be different from what can be tomorrow, or what was yesterday. But together, for years, those conditions, they're called climate. Okay. So climate may variability, for example, differences refer to natural changes through which the conditions differ from the long-term average. So average changes, that's in weather, there is a climate change in long term. So when we are saying climate change today, we are referring to it changes over a long time. Not it's raining today, tomorrow is not raining, and it says climate change. That's just change of weather. Okay? Okay. So climate change, by contrast, refers to long term, decades or longer. Right? We're counting decades. Decades. What does decade mean, Mariam? When you hear about the term decade, what do you understand by that? No? No, not you. To that decade? Oh my goodness. He's right. 10 years is a decade. So 20 years, how many decades are there? Okay, in 100 years, how many decades are there? Uh, Your mathematics, guys. Your mathematics, please. We need, that's why we're going to data journalism. Some mathematics there, eh? Decades and the calculations. You need to, today journalism is moving into calculation. If you thought journalism is the area where you can hide out from doing mathematics, not now. Okay? So, when scientists and policymakers talk about climate change today, they tend to mean the portion of climate change that human activities cause, or anthropogenic, oh my goodness, climate change, meaning anthropogenic. It's over time, eh? Okay. So we know the difference now between weather and climate, eh? Okay. Okay. So if you don't know that one and then you're reporting, please, you're reporting something you don't understand. Okay, from here we go briefly to, after this, how to write news and report news. Boys, we seem to be a bit shaky. We need to remind each other. Okay? Then, for the 30 minutes we'll have at the end, you're going to write something for only 6 paragraphs. Paragraphs. Okay? On climate change. The other thing we need to know as a journalist on climate change, after the climate and weather, the difference between them, is human activities that affect the climate. Okay. Okay. Let me read out this. That's where a journalist needs the skill of note taking. Okay. So, the human effects, these are. So, some gases such as carbon dioxide and methane um, can trap heat in the Earth's atmosphere, okay, through a phenomenon scientists call the greenhouse effect. Have we ever heard about the term greenhouse effect? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Yes. What's that? Can you share with us? No, start. So you come in. You support. Let her start. She started it. Okay. You have tried. You have tried. This knowledge, where do you get it? It's through reading. Eh? So when we say climate change, it means you have to have an interest to really understand. If you want that one to be your area of interest to report, read more and understand so you can report on that. Okay? Such kind of, it's attracting a lot of interest from uh, a wide range of sectors. They can even support you. You can travel. Geneva, New York, everywhere where there are big meetings to cover these things. Eh? But then you have to have a local angle. That's what Malawi, how climate change is affecting Malawi. Hmm? So we are talking about some gas such as carbon dioxide. You know carbon dioxide, that which we emit. Eh? But then carbon dioxide is used by plants. Eh? It releases oxygen. We release, we need oxygen from plants. The plants need carbon dioxide from us. But then if you cut so many trees out there, the carbon dioxide, instead of being taken up by the plants, it goes up into the air and causes the ozone layer, depletes it, becomes thinner. In which case, the sun rises, come directly to our skin and can develop diseases eventually. Okay? Because the ozone layer is being depleted, it's becoming thinner and thinner. So the sun rays, which block the sun rays, reach on our skins. Okay? So you need to understand all this, understand, and then you can write something. You will not be writing this, but you know the background. Okay? And then if you follow up with, are there diseases in the hospital which people are suffering from because of direct sun rays? Apart from the albinos, you know, how they might the effect of sun rays on their bodies. There are other people who are suffering from sun rays because of the depletion of the ozone layer. So many human activities emit these greenhouse gases, many human activities. So when we burn fossil fuels, such as coal and oil, to produce electricity or drive cars, you mentioned that, so, isn't it? Or drive cars, or when we clear forests uh, to grow crops, more of these emissions reach the atmosphere. Okay. So ever since the start of the Industrial Revolution in the mid 18th century, these gases have increased in concentration. At the same time, the Earth has experienced a gradual warming. Warming? Why do you think Earth has experienced a gradual warming? Uh, McLeod? Just that? Again? Can you raise your voice, McLeod? Oh, okay. So we, as a journalist, you need to be versatile, right? You need to be interested to listen to news, okay? Read the internet. That's why I say when you spend time on things like TikTok, yes, it's got relevant information. So if you said it's good, TikTok, can you defend that? I was thinking about it. Yes, you say it's very good.
Okay, yeah, for me, for being for studying journalism and being a host, I actually get some knowledge because I actually see on how
A
like some
host, you're a
other people
host.
present,
You
yeah.
have a blog.
Yeah, so like how some other people present, how they get along with the people, how they introduce their stuff. Of course, there's some other stuff that comes out that's true. I've seen a lot, yeah. But also you can take an advantage of, as you said, searching for some information because now there's more information on TikTok than
That's
on.
wonderful. Yes, when you take it as a business model, that's fine. Wait from that. But for the consumers, you have to also look at what are the consumers benefiting from. Apart from you getting money, but what consumers benefit? Just give them something for survival. Entertainment is fine, it's okay, but don't do it overdose for entertainment, isn't it? If you spend the whole day listening to music, dancing, and the likes, nothing will come on the table as food. But the musician will earn money. Of course, you stress will go down and the likes. You may wake up stronger and more invigorated. But then if you overdo it as much as if you overdrink, then okay. You see, you need to be as a journalist, you need to be everywhere, pervasive, read, understand, and be practical. As I said, nobody will employ you for having a paper. That's why for me, I insist in writing. She's talking about blog. Yes, today we're going into. Today, people on net always. So we also have to learn how to write for blogs, how to do crowdsourcing, make sure that what we write reaches so many people, and there's interaction, interactive sessions with even the newspapers. They go on the internet, they link, they get feedback from their audiences, they grow audiences, and that way, well, they need money. They need more adverts to come. So you can only bring in more adverts if your medium is growing. Even if a Facebook page itself, if you have 10 million followers, somebody will decide to come and post advertise there. That's how you earn money. You don't earn money for writing, right? It's direction. I've done this, I'm saying this now. Writing is a tricky thing, or journalism is a tricky thing. Okay. So here we go. We're talking about so ever since the industrialization, climate change is happening because of the direct rays onto the earth. Ozone layer is depleted. Can't be repaired with nothing. Okay, let's say impacts of climate change. That's something we need to know as well. Impacts of climate change. Don't forget, this is science and technology. Here we go. So the immediate impacts of rising temperatures include rising sea levels. The immediate impacts of rising temperatures include rising sea levels. Sea levels. You can be interested. We are talking about sea. Like, do you have a sea?
No,
What can we be looking at? The lake, and this is the river, isn't it? But then we have to have a compelling case to say what's happening to Lake Malai is climate change. It's not just blabbing about. You must be, you have that compelling evidence. Sure. Because now people can just talk because of what scientists can say. But then today we have what we call data journalism. We need to have those analytic skills ourselves. Analyze. eh? That's where numerous is good. You need to understand it. At some level, you may do together numerous for journalism. Yes, analyze data, explain and present it. Visualization, graphs, even mapping. Okay. So you can have Lake Malawi and have the data for Lake Malawi levels, maybe for the past 5 decades. That's 50 years, isn't it? And draw the map, rather the graph, to show you where is. Okay, it might have ups and downs, but the ups and downs either they are going down, or going up, or going down, isn't it? Okay. So was so and so there is another impact apart from the levels going down for sea level. We also have less predictable weather and more extreme events such as droughts, floods, and storms happening more often. Yes, we have heard about this, isn't it? But apart from hearing, are we able to link? Are we able to produce something local, a story that can show this? Okay. So the changing temperature and rainfall patterns can produce additional effects on weather supplies, crops, animals, and their pests and pollinators, and on organisms that cause disease. Okay? So the effect, you see where they are. Okay? Do you know a pollinator? Do you know a pollinator? Okay? Maria? Sophie knows a pollinator, isn't it? No?
not yet.
Do you know pollination? You
Yeah.
have done that, isn't it? So a pollinator, can know it? Something that pollinates, isn't it? Such as bees, insects, even human beings, they're pollinators as well. If I was taking flowers from here and they moved on, I carry it on my clothes and the likes. Even thieves, when stealing from one garden to another one, they're pollinating because maybe they're carrying pollen from that side to that, pollen grains. So. Remember these things we did in primary. Don't forget. Don't say that primary. No, everything, education is cumulative. Whatever you learned is useful at some stage. And the journey is supposed to be very knowledgeable. And to be knowledgeable is by reading every day. Know that you are reading something. Because our job, our product is information. That's what I'm going to say. If we don't have any information, what are we going to say to other people? Eh? Don't people in the blogs we just be forwarding things instead of being original. Just forwarding. That's why people are just forwarding things in groups, WhatsApp groups, even just sharing. Okay, it's good for the one who wrote it at the beginning, isn't it? But for you, it means you're not original. Be the originator of the information. Hey, that's what people go just sharing that, sharing. From morning to evening until then the data bundles run out. Tomorrow you wake up, you start sharing again. Well, better if you're sharing information anyway. But you're busy sharing. No, I didn't talk about much about that. Okay. Um, Magdalena, what do you share? I think it's better that you are not. You don't have. You're not on WhatsApp. I can imagine what you share. As a journalist, you have to be. It's not being. It's a communication tool. You have no excuse. Either today, it's like we're talking of 20, 30 years ago when women should be putting on a pair of trousers, and they were chasing them from churches. Eh? If a woman putting on trousers says a prostitute. But if you look historically, women, the people who started putting on trousers. Mariam, I'm cheating. In fact, men are supposed to be wearing dresses. Yes, we were wearing dresses. Look at the Scottish. That's what cultures. All the preachers. Even the Catholic fathers, have you did what to address? Yeah. What about fathers? What about fathers? That's our address. Yeah. That's our dress. Women are supposed to be putting on trousers. For us, we should be putting on dresses. Gym dress. Instead, you can buy a gym dress. That would be very good for you. But sorry, tomorrow. Go and find more information. Okay. Okay. Then there's the impact of climate change. Okay. Then let's talk about mitigation and adaptation. Mitigation. What does it mean by mitigation and adaptation of rather climate change? Do you know what it means? What is to mitigate? To mitigate. Mitigation and adaptation. When culture, or rather, not culture, when climate is changing, we're trying to mitigate.
That's another point.
Yes, another point.
On the impact of climate change.
No, that now comes. That's what we need to know. We need to know about as journalists. Yes. So the other one is.
Oh, the impact of climate change is also on the 10 things of going to happen.
Yes, yes. Okay. Yep. Then the other one is the one of mitigation and adaptation. So the idea is to mitigate something, is to reduce or to fight. Yeah? So the two main strategies for reducing the threat of climate change are mitigation and adaptation. So the next is the meaning of mitigation. Mitigation refers to any activities that reduce the overall concentration of greenhouse gas. That's mitigation. Any activities that reduce the overall concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So anything that you do to reduce greenhouse gases effects in the atmosphere, that's mitigation. Okay. Can somebody tell me some of these mitigating factors? What are these? How do you reduce greenhouse gases in the atmosphere? How do you do that? Yes? No problem. confident that that's one of them. Why? It's correct. It's here. It also includes efforts to plant trees and protect forests, eh, or to farm land in a way that prevent greenhouse gases from entering that atmosphere.
So again, but the GHGs are the ones that destroy ozone layer, the bad
Yes,
ones, yeah?
yes, but we want to reduce that now. Yeah, so it's by doing activities that counter that. That's to say, switch from. You said something at the beginning. Was it yesterday? You talked about driving cars that use battery instead of fuel, isn't it? You said that. Um, Using green energy, eh, such as using wind and solar, okay, and to improve energy efficiency. Like the electricity we're using here, it's green, rather it's efficient energy. It's pumped from water, isn't it? Pumped from the shire. It's unlike when you're using something charcoal.
What's the mitigation? You're saying it is a
Mitigation refers to electricity to reduce.
to reduce.
Yes. So mitigation refers to any activities that reduce whatever. If there is a disease, you want to mitigate it, reduce. That's what it means. Okay. And then adaptation. So we said mitigation and adaptation. Isn't it? Adaptation refers to activities that make people, ecosystems, and infrastructure less vulnerable to impacts of climate change. Adaptation refers to activities that make people, ecosystems, and infrastructure less vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Okay. Okay.
That make people
Uh-huh. Comma, ecosystems and infrastructure less vulnerable to the impact of climate change. I sent you this document, didn't it? You can check it. So make sure you read those headings. Um, okay. So like buildings, having strong buildings which can withstand heat, drought, so like the building up of defenses, both human-made or natural, to protect coastal areas. Good farming, Don't grow crops up to the river bank. Keep them some distance. Stop building along the river banks, but people are still building up to the close to the river. Stop sand mining from the rivers, for example. When they tell you this, you don't agree with this. Stop cutting trees from the source of the rivers to reduce flooding. Don't dump the Nyarara in water, in rivers. We go along the river, my goodness. It's like a sewage. Okay. Um, the other point that we need to know is use climate change storytelling to contribute to journalism. Use climate change storytelling. So the skill we have is a storytelling. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. So advanced news writing. Um, we know when you're writing there are two types of news approaches. You write hard news, something which has just happened. Okay.
what are you?
Hard news, something which has just happened. It's called hard news. Mhm. And it appears like this. You see that one? Can you see this diagram here from you guys? The inverted pyramid, isn't it? So you start with the introduction, main detail within the body, and main details at the end. But from the assignment which we had is not hard news, soft news, something that happens every day, but you think it's of interest. Okay. Madam, you're talking about subsidy, isn't it? And people are going for um, manure making, isn't it? Compost manure. You should have built much on how manure, compost manure is made. Eh? Write more on that one. Eh? Of course, link a little bit about subsidy and then improve the language and all those things. Otherwise, the topic is original. Eh? When you're writing about art, you should have talked about how technology is improving art, not how art is improving technology. It was vice versa. Is that it? Well, the issue about technology, not about art, but how technology helps art. So I'm happy the diverse of the topics you had. So you had about makeups, eh? So you had about environmental science, eh? That's about hygiene, about the diet, eh? All those technologies. Somebody may say, that's not technology. No, those are technology. Eh? People think about all the planes flying as technology, about new laptops coming, about new phones. No, technology is anything that you can apply from a scientific point of view. Okay. So you can either follow the chronological order, eh? Pyramids. Eh? So the important facts comes at the beginning. Come at the beginning, that is. Okay. So you need to understand this. Go and read the news manual. Check. Okay. To tell you about it.
The news is like this one that the journalist like FQG made.
That's hard news. Yes. Huh? Yes, the current news. Yes, yes. Okay. Cholera. Well, if two people have died today, it's bad news. But if you want to report the number of people who have died to date, you're looking historical. That's now a soft news, eh? Okay, okay. That's how it's supposed to be. So you guys, I want you to try this sheet store, eh? Yes. Yes, it's gonna be shortest one. I want to collect that one. Choose on any of the 10 things you need to know about journalism, about climate change, and imagine what happens in Malaya, related to Malaya. Just 6 paragraphs. Okay. Not 1,000 words. How many paragraphs? 6 paragraphs. I take that one. Make sure that you observe the following when you're writing. Um, the title must be relevant. First, the topic must be relevant. Okay. Tell me if it's going to be hard news or soft news. The who are benefiting from those issues. Okay. If there are technologies who has built them, who is using them, the list is there, which I have sent you. Yeah. 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 Some of you did well, like the body. So check the. If you can come and check if you want to come and check, you can open. No, no, wait. Everyone will take their own thing. Yes. Yeah. Um,